Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Rail Plus's webinar on the great battle of Rail Pass versus point-to-point tickets. I'm Nikki Diego from, of course, Rail Plus, the BDM for Big Tas SA. So I'm going to have a look at a couple of slides which will maybe give you a little bit more information on the pass versus tickets. Just remember that we do have the question and answer function, which Blaze from our office will be answering questions throughout, and then we of course will send a follow-up. So if Blaze can respond to the question quickly, he'll just give you an answer straight back. However, if it's something worth mentioning, he'll send that over to me. So let's get into it. So Rail Pass versus point-to-point is probably one of the most common questions I get answered, and each do have their benefits, or which may be more suited to your clients. Rail passes, we generally define it better if they're travelling for 3 hours a day or more, they're unsure of their travel dates, and they need date or itinerary changes possible. Point-to-point tickets can be better if they're doing short duration journeys under 5 hours, 1 or 2 short sectors in total, but the point-to-points are usually non-refundable, non-changeable, and they are unable to make changes. So the first 5 questions to ask anyone when you're looking at their itinerary. The first important thing is the first and last travel dates. This is vital as some of the passes are valid over 2 months of a duration, but some only over 1 month. The number of travel days, so the days they're actually on the trains, they are actually moving from point to point, is also super important. They're from and to points, of course, so we can look at the cost of those journeys. The class of travel. Now with rail passes, most of them do come in first class on the larger passes, so your global, the select 3 and 4 countries, but there is the option to purchase second class adults when it comes to single country passes and also 2 country passes. And also the age of travellers. So under 28 would be our youth, under 12 free, which are the children, and then your adults and seniors for everything in between and over. So an example itinerary we've looked at today, we have just a sort of general covering a little bit of everything itinerary. So firstly, London to Paris, this of course is on the Eurostar, but one of the changes for the Eurail Pass last year was that you can now use the Eurostar on a Eurail Pass. While the seat reservations are limited to a certain amount per service, when the fares are higher, they can be a really good cost-effective option. So looking at the Eurostar right now, even though we do have the book earlier sale fares of around $165, the pass holder fares are at $65. So it can definitely in first class be a big saving for your client to include this as one of the journeys. The second journey, Paris to Brussels on the Thalys, Brussels to Amsterdam, Thalys, Amsterdam to Zurich, Zurich to Lucerne, and then Lucerne to Geneva. So this itinerary, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actual travel days. It's also within a 1 month period. So then we go into the most suitable pass. So they're traveling for less than a month. They have 5 travel days. They actually have 6 travel days. And they're traveling over 4 countries. But 5 travel days maybe if that Eurostar is going to be cheaper to use separately. So we're looking at a 4 country pass within 2 months. Of course, Blaze has just reminded me that he's quoted the 5-day because there is currently the Eurail free day promo. So the 5-day pass will give them a 6-day for free. So the current price we have on this is $5.94 per person, which is a first class saver pass. So that would be for 2 people traveling together, 2 adults. The 4 countries we have on this itinerary, so you don't need to include the UK. We then have France, Benelux, Germany and Switzerland. So with Benelux, that would be Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg combined together to create 1 country. So it's time to compare. Rail Plus has had a new enhancement, which we did sort of look at last week quickly in the What's New for 18 webinar. And this is really going to be a game changer for making these type of itineraries quick to compare. All you need to do from the home page is select multi-city. It'll then take you through to another page which you can add or remove as many lines as you need. So we've gone through and added all 6 journeys in one, searched the actual travel dates that they need, and given a rough time of an 8 AM departure. Once we've done the search, we are then able to modify at the top of the booking, tick all the boxes, and then we can check the pass holder price. Just a little tip, make sure you scroll back up to the top and actually select the modify button. If you go back, you may have to re-enter the city pairs again because that'll take you back to the home page. So the modify button up the top will then just allow you to make changes on either the time, the date, or to select the seat reservation information. Now, where are seat reservations compulsory? This is also a question that we get a lot. So from the home page, you can see the little area there in the red box. There is a graph which will pop up under the How Far in Advance tab, and that'll take you to a page which will show you roughly how far in advance each train opens for sale, and also as well whether or not they're compulsory to reserve. If you have your clients doing a little bit of research in advance, you can definitely recommend that they download the Ural app. This is a good journey planner. So this will give them the options from A to B schedules, but it'll also as well give them a little R in a box anytime a seat reservation is compulsory. Keeping in mind as well that with compulsory reservations, while in some countries they may be able to book locally, it comes down to the availability on the train. So in Italy, 20 trains a day, middle of April, they're probably not going to have too many issues getting a seat res locally. However, during peak time, if there's only 2 trains a day in a certain route, that's obviously going to sell out further in advance. And France and the Eurostar, there's also a limited amount of seat reservations per service. So our total comparison, so Blazers looked this up and done a quick search for total fares versus the rail pass and the seat reservations. So the multi-city search will still give them separate tabs. So if you have by some chance put in a journey which has too many changes, then the system won't fail the whole search. It'll just tell you that that tab you need to break it up or it's too far out. So Blazers selected all the first class fares on each of the ticket on the left and the pass on the right. So you can see clearly that the pass on this journey is going to be a much cheaper option, saving them $250. And also as well, there is the flexibility in Switzerland that seat reservations are not compulsory, so they may be able to change their mind locally. With your individual tickets, if the clients want to change their mind, they may have to actually purchase a new ticket on a later service. If at any time you do want to know more information about whether seats are compulsory, whether they're not, just feel free to send the guys an email or give them a call, and they can kind of have a look at the itinerary, look at the frequency of departures, and sort of make recommendations on where your clients really should be reserving services and where they may be able to afford to be a little bit more flexible. So we can see here that the rail pass is definitely going to be the better option when it comes to cost. I always hear that we don't sell rail passes because they're not worth it. My clients are only doing 2 or 3 journeys. But with the Eurostar coming onto the pass, it's definitely worthwhile doing the exercise to compare, because you may find that what you thought was not a good option on a pass may actually be much cheaper. And using the multi-city search on the website will make this so much easier. It'll save you a lot of time. You can do this exercise in 2-3 minutes, and that's it. It's done. You've got your quote, you've got your prices. You can give that to your client. So the one more thing which may change your calculations. So it is the free day promo. So we are looking for the month of March being able to add 1 additional travel or up to 5 additional travel days on the larger passes. So they would be the Ural Global Pass. So the 10 and 15 day Global have 2 free days on the Flexi product, up to 5 days on the continuous passes. And the Ural Select passes and 1 country pass will have 1 free day. So all of a sudden we're changing our cost per day from around $100 per day to $80 per day. So it starts today. The offer expires on the 27th of March, but clients do have up to 11 months to actually use their pass. So if we're printing these passes at the end of March, they would have up until the end of February next year to actually start their pass. If their pass is a 2-month duration, then that is another 2 months from the end of February to finish use of that pass. And to book these, you can do that through the Rail Plus website very, very soon. The guys in the office are just fine-tuning the promo so it'll be bookable, but give it a little bit of time, it'll be up there very soon. The other thing, kids. So kids under 12 or the 4 to 11 inclusive, they travel free on a Rail Pass. So you do need to add them onto the pass. The website will give you the option to add the children, you'll be able to add their name, but their passes are free. They do have to pay for their seat reservation if they are over 4. If they're under 4, then they're completely free. So if you do have families traveling and you're looking at a booking and it only has, again, 3 or 4 journeys and you're thinking the tickets might be cheaper, do the exercise because the kids' passes are free. They're just paying for the seat res. On a normal ticket, they would be paying roughly half price. And then, of course, with the free day, it may be cheaper on the Rail Pass. The youth travellers, so this is 12 to 27, they're also a little bit cheaper than your standard adult prices as well. So youth passes are available in both first and second class, and also travellers receive additional bonuses. So someone's just asked a question, which I'll just do quickly now. Are the details for this March special on the website? They will be up very shortly. The guys in the office are just working on that now to actually get it up and running. It'll just be on the standard grid with the rest of the promos. So just make sure you are selecting the free day promo. We'll have both the promo fare and the non-promo fare. So with the promo, they are non-refundable, non-exchangeable. So we do still have the option to select the full fare. Just keep in mind that if you do select the full fare, they won't automatically be printed with the free day. You'll have to select the free day option on the Rail Pass. So where to find the bonuses? So all your Rail Passes do come with a couple of bonuses. They may be mountaintop discounts in Switzerland, it may be a lounge access, it may be a ferry crossing. On each individual pass page, we do have a bonuses tab, and that's where you can get all the bonuses. So if you are looking at a Eurail Pass, there may be a couple of bonuses that your clients are using that make it, again, a really good option cost-wise. One thing with the bonuses, if the bonus is free, it will need to be on a travel day or it will use a travel day. If the bonus is discounted, it would not use a travel day. So if they are using on a global pass that ferry from Ancona to Patra, which they get for free, that'll use the travel day. If they're using a discount up to Mount Polaris, then it'll just be, they get the discount, it won't use the day. Another way to keep up to date with any promos that we do have, the specials tab will give you any promos that are available. We will also have on the specials tab downloadable B2C flyers for your clients. So if you do want to advise your clients about this promo, either through printing a flyer, through emailing a flyer, then you'll be able to download that B2C flyer, and they'll also be able to add, or you'll be able to add your call to action details on that. We are also creating a big Google folder. So basically, Blaze will send that through at the end with the post-webinar details and questions, and you'll be able to access the Google Drive at any point to grab promo flyers, Facebook tiles, marketing help, different flyers that we've created for things like Canada Rail, Rocky Mountaineer, stuff like that. So please use that, and if you have any recommendations of things that you would like to add to it, please let us know. But the Facebook tiles, of course, it's such a great free marketing tool. We are using it with our Rail Plus Agents closed Facebook group. But if you would like to use any of those tiles, they're sorted by destination. So the Eurail free day promo has a tile in there now as well. So questions, Blaze has just sent a couple through, so I'm just going to go back and answer those. And if anyone has any other questions, just send them through. So the webinar is recorded. What we will do straight after today is we will update, we will basically save the webinar, and then Blaze will put it on the Rail Plus YouTube channel. We do send out an email afterwards with all the details of the questions asked. Blaze will answer them, and also the link to that. But at any time, if you've missed a couple of webinars or you want to go back and watch old ones, just look up Rail Plus on YouTube, select the link in any of our signatures, and you'll be able to find all the webinars saved up there. I understand there's never going to be a perfect time for anyone. Even us trying to schedule in this webinar today wasn't great. I understand it's a Friday, it's a bit hard. But we are trying to make sure that we can have it up there. And then, of course, any questions that you do have, feel free to, either ask back via Facebook under the links. You can email us, you can contact your rep, and we will really do what we can to answer those questions. So the beginning of the webinar, you can scroll back and kind of watch not live, but of course it will be available at the end if you want to kind of just go back and have a look at that. If a train only passes through a country, does that country constitute an extra country for the Eurail pass? So yes. So if your clients are passing through a country, they do need to have that country included. It's a little bit more complex than that when it comes to traveling into. So there are border stations, border towns. So a border town will be a place like Basel. Basel is right on the border of both France and Germany. You may not actually need to add Switzerland as a country if they're just going to Basel. So a full list of Eurail border towns can be found on our website. If you just sort of do a quick look up, they do pop up very quickly, Eurail border towns on, use the search function on our website and it'll display. But if your clients are traveling, for example, between Munich and Venice, that train goes through Austria. So you would need to either add Austria onto the pass, or if your clients are already doing 4 countries and that would be their 5th, it would actually be cheaper to do a ticket from the border to border than going up to a global pass. So in that case, it may be worth shooting through the guys an email to get them to check, because then they can have a look at whether or not it would be a better option to go up to a higher country pass, or whether it's going to be better to add the ticket from border to border. With the Eurostar, you don't need to have the UK. Obviously, you can't on a Eurail pass, so that's a bit of a exception to the rule. There are also some trains generally coming in and out of France that do have a fare called a pass holder 2 fare. And again, it's not every train, so it may be worth sending the quote through to the team. But a pass holder 2 fare would be a special in-between price that allows them to travel on a service with only one country covered on the pass. So your Frankfurt to Paris may have pass holder 1, $50, pass holder 2, which is just France included on the pass, which may be $100, a pass holder 3, which is just Germany on the pass, $150. These are just numbers I'm pulling out, and then the full fare $200. So there may still be the benefit of not adding that additional country, and you'll be able to see if there are different pass holder fares by selecting the show all button when you do a search. Initially, the cheapest fare will display only the cheapest pass holder fare. Click the show all. You'll also see the 2s and the 3s if they are there. But again, once we get into more complex situations like that, if you would like to email through to the team to even just get them to check what you're looking is correct, then they can of course do that. So validating the pass, they do need to do it at a station prior to their first travel. I always recommend people to actually do it a day prior to their first train, just because they may get there and that line's really long, especially in the summer. So they need to take their passport to the station and go and actually validate it. This is something that Rail Plus can do in our office. Validating the passes does make it non-refundable, non-exchangeable, but the promo is anyway. But basically, if you would like the pass pre-validated, just send an email to the team, info@railplus.com.au, and they will be able to pre-validate the pass for the date that you would like it to. That means that when they arrive, they will simply just have to travel on the train that they would like to, with their seat reservation already done. Eurail pass issued as the client, so once they have the pass, it's all sort of fully described in the pass what to do with it, but basically pre-validation is needed, and then once they sit down on the train, if it is a flexi pass, fill in the date. Don't pre-fill it. Don't do 3 days in a row. Just do it day by day. Pre-filling it will actually make the dates null and void. They won't be able to use those in the future. So fill in the date in the box, fill in the travel report in the Eurail wallet, and then show that to the conductor as they walk around. So Rail Plus is accessible to the general public. The public, some of the fees are a little bit higher for the public if they choose to book on our site. We don't discount to the public, so it's not like we're taking away the commission that we give you and then giving that to the member of the public if they are booking. We do quote everything in gross for the purpose that some agents will like to spin their screen around and show the client the price that it is displaying, and that's why we always quote in gross, but you can of course get the net at the end. Yeah, so I mean, our website is there for the public to access. Obviously, we're first and our biggest customer is of course agents, so we do have that set up that way, but if the member of the public do want to do a bit of research on our website, then they can of course access that as well. For full commission levels, just speak to either email me or email your rep, or just speak to your head consortium. They will be able to send you out the full commission. If you have some kind of database, then like a preferred product database, then it should be on there, saved somewhere. But if you would like those, we can definitely send them out to you. So London to Amsterdam, good question. It was something we are going to mention. So London to Amsterdam direct on the Eurostar is available on our website now. So this is a direct service on the Eurostar. It's a 3 hours 40. It's twice a day, but it's only one direction. So right now, traveling from Amsterdam back to London, they will have to take the Thalys to Brussels and then transfer onto the Eurostar. And that's purely just because of, the immigration setup there for the UK. So they're not ready to do that from Amsterdam. But having London to Amsterdam is definitely going to be a huge game changer when it comes to the river cruise client, those who want to use London as a pre-destination. And the flight stats on this is currently 3 million passengers a year are flying between London to Amsterdam. So while there are only 2 trains at the moment, hopefully they will add more services, but I imagine those 2 trains probably will sell out very fast once everyone knows about it. The London to Amsterdam pricing has come out, and they're actually cheaper than the current sale fares on the Eurostar for the other 2 routes. So we're looking at, I think it's $70 in second class and $140 in standard premium between London to Amsterdam, which is an amazing price. It's going to be so much more convenient, obviously, than flying, just like most rail journeys are, but not having to change in Brussels is also going to be really good. And they are running the new Eurostar E320 services on this route, which are their new trains. So they're getting the best product, lots of beautiful countryside and convenience, obviously, from leaving city and then arriving into city centre. So the Facebook tile for the free day special. So this is on the Eurail folder of the shared docs. I believe Blaze may be able to give you the link for that, but we will send that out afterwards. So the details for the actual promo can also be found on our website. So he's just said he's posted it as well. So you should be able to see the link to the Google shared folder. Once you're in there, destinations, Eurail, and then you'll see the Facebook tire as well as your B2C flyer that you can add your details to and give to your clients. Of course, don't forget that Rail Plus does give 75% off rail passes for travel agents and their travel companion. So if at any time you are thinking about a European trip, just remember we still offer amazing agent discounts. So there's a full list of the passes that you can get and where to find the form. It's under My Rail Plus Tools, top right-hand corner on the website, and there's a form section. You can also find it on the shared folder as well. Just download that form, send it off to the team, look up your pass, divide it by 4. That's the price that you'll pay for both you and your travel companion. You do, of course, need to add seat reservations onto this price, but you can get a 5-day pass for like $80, so that's a pretty good deal. The commission is different between Eurail passes and point-to-points. Yeah, feel free to shoot us through an email to get the full commission listing. For Eurail passes, there is a different commission between booking online versus booking over the phone or email. But for point-to-point tickets, we do understand that sometimes it's not always as easy to book over the website. So we do offer the same commission. If the train only goes one way to London to Amsterdam, where does it go after this? So I had the same question about the Eurostar service. I'm assuming that it probably runs empty back from Amsterdam back into Brussels. This is possibly the only thing that it can do. At the end of the day, this route is still predominantly a Thalys service. So there's probably a little bit of politics going on with Eurostar running direct these days. I'm sure Thalys aren't too happy about it. You know, they're both predominantly privately owned services. So the London to Amsterdam will be direct. The train will then go back to Brussels probably empty. I imagine at that point they would probably do a security clearance on it, check to make sure that train is empty, and then allow the clients travelling from Brussels back to London to board. So there's a question in regards to security. What is your advice for the Thalys journey? How late can you be at the station? Thalys, you don't have to go through security on Thalys, so it's just a matter of finding the platform. I always recommend 15 to 20 minutes at the station. You know, anything longer than that, they're kind of just standing around waiting. Typically on a Thalys, the platform information will be advised earlier than some of the other services, so they should know roughly a little, you know, bit before that what platform they are leaving. They do have random security checks, so to be safe, half an hour, 45. And then also at Amsterdam now, which we covered last week, they do actually need to use either their ticket or their pass to get into the station because there are security gates. Same thing with Paris. So they will maybe, you know, want to leave an extra 5 to 10 minutes for that, just in case there is a bit of a longer line at security. But yeah, if they can be there half an hour early, then I think that's probably enough. But if you've got family or, you know, you've got someone that may need a little bit of extra time, I'd probably say 45 minutes to an hour. So Blaze is just... next question, will London to Amsterdam be available on a 4-country pass? As we know at the moment, we're not sure. So we are waiting to see whether or not a pass holder fare will be available on this service, but right now we don't know. So if they are travelling between London and Amsterdam, the direct service is going to be cheaper right now to pay for than a day on the pass plus the seat res. But of course, as the fares get more expensive, then they can choose, or they can choose to purchase the pass holder fares through both through Brussels. But as we know right now, we are not too sure. We will update. Hopefully it will, because this is obviously going to make it a lot more appealing to people who do have passes to travel on that route. But right now the answer to that question is we are not too sure. Eurostar have been announcing this service since they first started on the road, and that was back in 2014, January. So they've been saying for the last 4 years, this direct service is coming, this direct service is coming. And then finally, when it did get released, it's like not all the information has sort of the finer details. So it's great that it's there. It's amazing. It's going to be a huge game changer for, you know, pre-river crews and people who are going between London and Amsterdam. But we're still yet to find out about the pass holder fares. Okay, so we are just going to hang out for a minute just to see if there are any more questions. If you do have any questions, please send them through now or send them through after, and we will respond back via email, or we can always give you a call to go over. So yeah, I guess the main points for today is use the multi-city search to work out if your pass is going to be cheaper for your clients than the individual tickets. Remember, you can use the Eurostar as a day of travel with a compulsory seat res. So make sure you include that as a day. We can also book the Eurostar at the moment towards September, October. So you can check the dates and book the seat reservations for a couple months out. We do have the free day promo, and please use any of the marketing tools, whether it be Facebook tiles, flyers, or anything like that, to distribute that info to your clients. Blazer is also going to post a link with all the details of the London to Amsterdam direct service, but this service will start operating from the 4th of April. So you can book it now for any service after the 4th of April. Eurostar obviously has good booking horizons, so we can, look a bit further in advance than other services. But yeah, 4th of April will be the first travel date. Remember another thing, we did sort of look at Eurail passes today. Just remember that the Swiss pass is sort of a different setup to the Eurail passes. So if you have clients traveling through Switzerland, it's kids under 16 that travel for free. They just have to add a family card onto the booking. So when you're looking at Swiss, there is a separate option to choose a child pass, which has a cost. But if they're traveling with adult passes, then they can add a family card, which will make those kids free. Swiss Pass have really great bonuses, but any bonuses, whether it be free or discounted, do use a travel day or do need to be used on a travel day. So if your clients go up to Mount Pilatus and they're not doing any trains that day and they choose to use the discounted rate, it will use a travel day. So they either need to purchase the continuous pass for Switzerland, they need to use their mountaintop boat or bus services or one of the 500 free museums on the same day they're taking a train, or they can always get the Germany, Switzerland to country, France, Switzerland to country, and get those bonuses as a discount without using a travel day. So 6 months currently we can book the Eurostar. That's how far out we can book it. I'm just going through some questions and answering those. So London to Amsterdam is currently out 6 months in advance. Do we supply bag tags? We don't. I mean, maybe something that we can look at in the future, but currently we don't have bag tags. For Great Train Journey bookings, we do send out documentation wallets, so the Rail Plus branded wallets, or if it's a Rocky Mountaineer product, it's dual branded Rail Plus and Rocky Mountaineer, but currently bag tags, not right now. So some countries have excellent second class, others not so good. Is there a way of knowing whether to book first or second class? My general feeling about this is any train that I've taken, and I never travel during peak periods to Europe, it's always October, January, February, but I always find even at that time of year, second class is full. You've got your local travellers, you've got, your people on holidays, Europeans using second class. Just for the benefit of knowing that there are going to be less people in the carriage, therefore more space to put the bags, is worth it for first class. There is currently a promo for second class Eurail passes, but it only works out to be around $20 cheaper per day than the first class option. And for that $20, I think it's worthwhile to go up to a first class pass. Obviously, if you do have someone on a budget, if you've got your youth travellers, then second class on more of your Western European services are also going to be a fantastic option. Anything France, Spain, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, all of that. Once you start to get more Eastern Europe, that's where you'll find the services. They may be not as fast or as new as the Western side of Europe. So the second class may be a bit more basic. But generally, first class 2R1 seat, so 2-1 configuration. Second class is a 2-2 configuration. Luggage racks at the end of each carriage, luggage racks overhead. But first class having less people, there will be more spaces. There are some trains which do have quiet cars in first class. So, that may be something that your client might want or not want. It's not so easy for us to actually select a quiet car when we're looking at seat reservations, but if they want to move and sit in another seat, then that's fine if that seat's available and it's free. But yeah, first and second, I think it's probably going to be dependent, really on their budget. But if they can afford an extra $20 a day, then it's worthwhile to go up to a first class pass over a second class pass. Perfect. So I think that's everything for today. Like I said, please feel free to send through any questions that you have after. Please feel free to make contact with your BDM if you would like more training. So that would be either myself, Richard McKissack, or Larry Burrows. You can find all the rep contact details on the contact page on the Rail Plus website. But thank you again for tuning in. I think we're getting better as each of these webinars go on. So in a couple of months, we'll be absolute professionals. And of course, all of this will be up on YouTube after, and you can access it that way. Perfect. Thank you. Have a great day and sell lots of trains, and we'll see you guys down the track.